Hi everybody and welcome back. For those who don't know me, I'm Emma and I'm the artist behind Unsteady Art. So when it comes to this week's video, it is going to be very busy for me and unfortunately a little bit dull for you, so I do apologise about that in foresight. I have got 5 in the back and then the one that I've got here that is going to have one design on, which unfortunately I can't show you. There is also one of the commissions that I get quite a lot of. They've got a very big order, so thank you, they know who they are. So that is for 20 blue caps, 20 green caps. I've got 18 zipped hoodies and 15 beanies to do, so that is a very big order. And then I've got Dave at Ratsport Autos that wants another 4 tops doing. He wants to put the socials on there, but I'm sort of researching what I'm allowed to do, what I can't do. So let's just get on it. I'll get on with it. So what I've got here, I've got the adjusted, I can never remember what they are. It's for the bigger hoops. So these are both of the adjusted ones. So I've purposely done it. So with this one, where the hoop is and where my design's going to start, so I could get a hang of where these are meant to go. So hopefully I've done it right. So let me get the hoop. So we've got the hoop. Pull it apart. I need to put that on. I'm going to pull the hoodie over the top and hopefully it gets to where it is. I've also been very mindful to wear the hoodies, so it's just slightly underneath it. And this means that I don't have to keep adjusting it for the different ones. Centered. So like I says, this is where the hoop should be, so it is actually a bit higher, but I think that actually might work out in the favour. Yeah, that's definitely where it is on the bottom. So that means at least the design is not going to get fully covered. So I need to move it across, get the shoulders square. Right, so that's a bit more level. So I'm going to take the top and the bottom off here. So that then should be the same on each of the other hoodies, which are behind me. So this part always to facing the machine. Right, so I've got it hooped on, so let's get it on the machine. So I'm being very careful when it comes to the hood, because it kind of needs to go out of the way a bit. And there we go. So like I said, with this one, I can't show you all of it. I can show you first little bit, but that's about it. So let's show you. Hello again, everyone. So I did manage to finish the 6 hoodies. Just need a few more to clean up, and then I'm ready to go with that. The same people though did want a badge as well, which was asked if I could do it yesterday. So while the colours are on the machine, I am going to quickly get that done. Right, so this time round, so with the badge, I take the design, I get it out so it kind of flows with the image, but I don't use any fabric. So what I use is this BFilm. So so that is what I have. It's just a water soluble stabilizer, but doubled up. It's very durable. So all I need to do is cut it out to a good size. So I need it to cover the hoop twice. So let's see which best way to do it. So I need to get rid of the crick that's there. So I'm just going to try and pull it a little bit taut once I open it up. Finally got it straight enough. So let's get it on the machine and let's do it. Technically it is a trial run, but if it turns out good, I can keep it as that. So let's go. Right, let's get it in place and do the checks. So this first lot of stitching is going to be getting a level. Hi everyone, so this is the start of a very long process. So I've got 18 hoodies to do, so zipped hoodies. I've got 15 beanies, 20 green caps and 20 blue caps. I will be recording some of the bits, but unfortunately I can't show the designs because they're not on sale as yet. So I'm just going to do some of the process while I've got a zip hoodie to how I go around this. So this is one of the hoodies, and as you can see over that side, there is a lot of hoodies there. So I've got 18 of these to do. So let's lay them down. So first thing I do, which if we have a look at this top bit here, all I've done is what I class as a fail safe. So when you're hooping, you need to make sure that the zip is actually dead straight. It is easier than what you think. You measure from both sides, but as an extra difference, because when I was first doing these, I noticed a bit of fluctuation where between the zips here can be slightly wider, slightly longer. So with that one, I did the fail-safe stitch, so it lined up with the farthest, or should I say the closest to the zip on the actual, how can I put it, on the design. So on the design here, if I take away some of the stitching, you'll see this little line here. So the idea of that is when I am, that will be the stitch that does first. I measure then from the centre, or in this case the zip, but the centre line is there, to the corresponding. If they are about even, it's fine. If, for example, the other one, where the only gap was the zip, it was to get it as close to the natural line where they've inputted the zip as possible, and that's how I did it. I do choose the colour that's nearest to the garment. So in this case, I have got my 1736. So as you can see, extremely close, but it will be hidden under the stitches. So that's why when you're doing it, so it is very, very, very on the edge. So at least it doesn't look out of place. So I'm going to show you how I hoop these, and then it's a case of putting it on the machine. I am still waiting on which, spit it out, which stabiliser they want to use. So with this one, because when the zip is open, you do see the stabiliser. Now I've got the choice of a black or a white, which is here. So if I do the same thing to you, so I'm going across. Now the stitching is going to be white, so I will be using a white underthread. So generally speaking, it would be the white I choose, but I don't choose that for them. I let them choose. And it is just because it's something that's seen. If it isn't, then I'll use my my world of knowledge, if you would, to do that. So I'm waiting on that so I can actually hoop it. So I'll see you in a bit. Let's go. Right, so I've got my reply, and the answer to the question is white, which I kind of thought it might be. So all I'm doing at the moment is she's wanting it 10 centimetres down from the bottom of the collar bit. So let's get that on so we know where a centre point is going to be there. So all I usually do is just put a little bit of masking tape. It's not to give an idea of what's straight, because chances are it won't, but it will give a bit of information on where I roughly need to be. So that's that one done. So put this to one side. So what I'm going to do now is just put it on, and then, yeah, measure it all out. getting the zip out of the way, leveling it up on the tops. As always with these, you need to make sure the big part is at the bottom and the pin is at the top. So, bear with us. So we're just getting the zip in line, but even then, it might not be fully. So all we do is, once it's generally in line, measure from one side to the other. So 16. Just shy off. Right, so that is now all in line. So it's roughly working out to be about 16.2 against both sides. So that is now level. So we just need to put it on machine and guide it up to that light, to the where the zip is, because that is the bit that we want to get in line. So let's take it off and get it done. We've done that, we just need to hoop it up. So let's do. So what's stopping it is the zip. So if I go to the back of it, pull that up, and there we go. Right, so all I'm doing now is doing drawing stitch to then try and get up to the top of the masking tape. So definitely way out at the moment. Let's do the test stitch. So all I'm doing here is measuring the distances between them. So I've got my crutches out now. So from the centre, about 1.4 centimetres. That is about right. So like I said, you can't see fully what I'm doing here, but I can certainly show you the first bit. Hey everyone, and welcome back. I have no idea if I've started this video already, so I will just in case. So if you don't know me, I'm Emma and I'm the artist behind Unsteady Art. So how can I put this? I have lost a full week. It's gone. Don't know where it's gone. I've done the work, but I think I've been in that much mindset of the work that it's bye-bye, it's gone. Didn't realise I'd not done a video. Didn't realise that I was about that, not just one but nearly two. Luckily I managed to get it out, but if you'd noticed, I didn't make an intro for it. So I really am very lost, but the work still continued. So I'd already done, there was 6 hoodies to do, and that had 2 designs for each of them. It were a back and a pocket. I've just done the 18 hoodies, which that was a zipped hoodie and it's between. So I did show, I have recorded that, and I know I've recorded that. So the only things left to do is 15 beanies and 40 in total caps, but it's actually 2 designs. So there's 20 blue caps, 20 green caps. So I'm going to show you how I hoop my beanies, and then we'll go from there, because this once again is something that I can't show you. So I'm showing you as much as what I can, and as you can see, it's throwing me out all over. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way at all, because I need to get busier. It's just I didn't have as much time for YouTube. I didn't have as much time for Instagram. Definitely didn't have enough time for my gaming channel, which is Little Pixie Games. And God knows. Anyway, let's get on with it. So these beanies are lovely. So very, 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 let me see it. Very thick knot. The idea is they're wanting it folded over and the design then on the front. So beanies can be a bit hard because they can be worn just as much like that or turned up like they want to. And that can sometimes throw a lot off. So I'll show you what I do to distinguish from that. So if I move that away for a second. So for a start, I've got this piece of tape here with a little arrow on it. The reason why I do that is so I know exactly where I am. So I'm going to fold it up. This one, the label is on the side, so I don't have to worry about back and front, as long as the side is where it's need to be. So I'm purposely going to put that up on top. It is not at the moment in the centre, it is not in the moment of anything else. The only thing that is telling me is that is upwards. So what you don't do is then do it and then put it straight into the embroidery machine, because that would then be backwards way round. So what you do is, instead of going and folding it that way, we then fold it inside out. That means that is on the front. So we'll straighten it all out. There we go. So what I do as well, I get my ruler. I sometimes use my A1 self-adhesive cutting mat. So what I'm going to do is put these into centimetres, just because that's how I prefer to measure. So we're on 23, so it should be I take this off. So 111.75, so it should be about there. So that is your centre. Usually as well you can do it that way on, but I don't think it's as attractive, because as much as there is lines going down, they do get a bit taut at the top where the where it's being stitched in. So I then bring this round. So it is meant generally for pockets or anything like that, but I like to use this for beanies. So let's get us hoops. So I always use the Mighty Hoop with the Hoop Master scenario, and the reason being the magnetic. I am not strong in my arms anymore. In fact, I'm absolutely pathetic. Not fault of mine, not fault of exercise. It is just MS really does deteriorate you, and you don't really realise it. So let's get this in. So everything is pretty much backwards for this one. So they're wanting black stabiliser with the black bobbin. So that is what I've already put on machine. So push this in as much as I can. Opposite way around usually helps. So I try and reuse this as much as possible, and that's because the designs are so small, because you can only go up to so much centimetres before it just looks silly. So I'm then putting the cap over the top, the beanie. Told you I went out. So I'm levelling this with the line up there. So it's quite nice to be diagonally on it, and it's quite nice to be low down, because I can see it directionally, where sometimes if you're looking above I find it a little bit harder. Right, so that's that. Right, so now I'm going to put in this. This is water soluble. It means that the stitches stay above the material, because this can hide a lot of the stitching, so it can get lost in the weave, which once it's then stretched and over your head and vice versa, but it ends up working out a bit funny before that. So I'm going to put that on, and then what I'm going to do is just concertina this, just so it kind of looks a bit more straight. I use the ruler to kind of guide me through this section. And there we go, that's pretty straight. So now that I've got straight, I'm going to take this off. I'm going to put the water soluble on. Close as what I can get it, but with a little bit of lip over. One, I can reuse it. Two, with the lip, it means that when the stitchings, it kind of makes everything curl in, because it makes everything dense. So that's just a way of making sure that it's all handled. So leave that there. So this bit is to face the machine. Now usually we'd have it on that side, this side we're having it there, because we need to make sure that the entrance to the beanie is actually the bit that's going in machine. So let's rest that on. Let me adjust this. So I'm then going to press it down. Next, I've got a fabric pen. So I want the big chunky bit. And we're wanting the design, depends on design to which I suggest, but this one we agreed on 1.5 centimetres from the end of the cap. There we go. Don't matter if that is in the middle, the only, where? I don't even know what happened there. The only thing that matters is that it's an indication to where the red dot needs to be. So these are always a bit weird because they're a bit thicker. So so that is a lip that goes to make sure that that's out. So I just pull that up to be able to release it. There we go. So it's time to get it on the machine. So I've got my black bobbin in with a little pigtail. So line it up on there, and then just make sure that the guard is to the top, because it does get stuck if you're not careful, and it can then chew through the beads, which really you do not want. Hi everyone! Sorry, not a great angle. But this is how much stuff I've got to do. Hi everyone, so I'm trying something new. So I've got the volume a little bit less to see if it'll help me with the editing. Just trying to find that lovely sweet spot, which means I don't have to drag the audio gain up or down. So this is all of my cap press, because it's getting to that lovely time of year that it's needed again. So let's take these off for a second so I can show you what I'm actually doing. Hello again. So I've basically got two lots of BFilm caps. So there's green and then there's blue. Both of these are having different designs putting on. Not my own. This is for the last bit of the order. So I've done all of the hoodies, all of the beanies. What's left is 20 of each of these colours. Now, BFilm I've been working with for a while. It is some that I like to prefer as well. I've got a great thing when it comes to the centre seam, because at least I can find my centre very, very quickly rather than having the masking tape to try and help me. So let's get all the machine ready and we'll start hooping them up. Let's go. So first things first, this is the cap gauge. So this is what goes onto the side of my desk so I can attach the caps to it. If I don't attach the caps to the frame, it's not going to get stitched right at all. So this is just one big lot of metal. Here we go. So we'll unwind this as much as we can. This bit needs to go to the top. Never fits quite. It always feels like it's very, very loose, but trust me, it's not. This is what I mean with the movability. So the reason why we have that at top, so we can move it round very, very easily. This bit is to the top because this is where the frame gets put. So now that's on, we'll go onto the machine and then we'll come back to this for actually hooping. So let's go. We need to take this cap off. There we go. It's smooth across there. Get the drive straight across. Level out that way, which should level out where the holes are. See if I can find it all.
That sounds so good.
casing back on. So frame first, that bit needs to go to the top and the notch goes into that part. The cap I've measured upwards and the bottom line is where I need it to go to. That's where the bottom of the image is going to lie. We need to remove that out. Need some of the cap tear away stabiliser. Which goes on nicely. Need to move that bit out of the way. Make sure it's secure. So that line needs to go slightly to the left, and it's just because when you clip it in place it will naturally go to where the clip is. Once you've got it, push it around. And then flick it across. And that is in the centre, so great. So we just need to turn it round, peg it so it's tight. And pull off. That's one done. So I'll put it on machine, get that started. Right, so there's several things to watch out for. 3 clips, all need to be engaged unless it just doesn't hold and it bounces out. The other bit is your centre line, which I'll go through in a second. So on its side, to then move out. That's one clip. Right, so first so we're now in line that way on. So emergency stop. I'm onto a bar that's straight over the top and I'm just twisting it round. Just make sure that this is out. And that is pretty much perfect. So unclick emergency stop. Take this off and away we go. Hi everyone and welcome to a new day. So I'm just going to end the video right here, right now. I've finished so much. So 18 zipped hoodies, 15 beanies, 20 blue caps, 20 green caps, all of them clean, stitched out, done. It took me about half an hour for each of the zipped hoodies to be stitched out. Didn't take long for the others, but because they're just like small, it were more clean up jobs that was harder than the actual stitch out. And definitely with the caps, it took me longer to frame them on to get them hooped up than what it did to actually stitch them out. But it is what it is. So if you did like this, please like, subscribe, comment. Love to hear what you're thinking, and hopefully you'll see a longer range of what I do for hooping and what might help you. So I'll see you next week. Bye.